We got a few.
All right, we're working on our CNC machine. If you haven't been watching, we have a CNC retrofit that we're doing. Donnie's very proud of it. We have no clue who makes it.
No clue.
But we're trying to put it back together. And one of the problems was some of this, what do they call it?
Track.
E-chain. Some of this E-chain was messed up. We think this CNC is from about 2000. So some of it's broken and missing. Compare it to this, Donnie. Is it the same stuff? Now I want you to see what we did. It's from about 2000. And so I looked up that part number.
That's the deal. What's the deal?
See how that says 1.1 and that says 1.2? I'll bet this is just a slightly newer revision. The same company makes this stuff, and it's not even that expensive. It's called IGUS. It's all German and American stuff. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful stuff, Donnie. It ain't China to be found.
It's about time.
So we've got to try to get some of our cabling done today and our E-chain fixed up. So then there's a bracket. Again, we're retrofitting this thing. We don't even know who made it. We cannot figure out who made it. We thought Camtech. I cannot find a Camtech that looks like this. Then we thought multicam. I cannot find a multicam that looks like this. So we're trying to put it all back together, and we don't know what size bolts we need. So I ordered a bunch of bolts too. Donnie's about to tell me they don't fit. Do they not fit?
I don't know. I think they're all small.
They're all too small? Oh, man. Well, we'll see what we got. Well, here's what we got. It's a 1024 inch and 3/4. So I ordered these online, obviously. 632, 832, 1024. If I would have got 1032, we would have been right. If they make 1032, but it sure looks like it. So this is what I ordered. And this is what was in it.
So you know what we're going to do? If they don't have what we need in store, we're going to buy a tap.
Yeah, we're going to buy a tap. But I don't want to start tapping stuff because then you don't know what's tapped and what ain't tapped.
We'll just buy a bunch of screws and a bunch of taps.
Okay, we're going to go to the store. We're not going to let this defeat us, people. Now, I know that I ordered this from Maine. No, that's not Maine. M.A. Is that Maine?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it might be Maine. Might be Massachusetts. Or Mississippi. It can't be Mississippi.
No.
Can't be Missouri.
No.
Maine it is. So I ordered it online. How did I get... I should have got... Oh, well. Okay, we're going to go to the store and get the right stuff. It's 1032, people, not 1024. I don't know why we thought 1030. I don't know why we thought 1024. All right, we're going to get some. So what we're doing, yeah, we did go buy screws. What we're doing is we're trying to mount the track, the electric, what'd I say it was called? That stuff.
This stuff.
Yeah, E-chain, electric chain, E-chain, something.
It's got to go like that.
So we've got to mount it on here. We're probably going to have to put some kind of thing under it. There's supposed to be like a tray there, but we don't know how they did it. We're basically trying to put all our parts back together that we've got.
Yeah, we don't know how they went.
We think we've got it figured out, but we don't know for sure. And it's one of those things where it may actually hold itself up, maybe. I don't know, that might not be a good idea. We'll figure it out. But our next thing was to put this bracket on, and we now have this bracket on. All right, so the E-chain won't hold itself up, it'll just fall off.
Falls right off.
So we need a bracket or something. Now there are 2 little screw holes underneath here. So there was something under there at some point. So we bought this all in pieces off of a guy. These screws are the same thread pitch, 1032. We don't have anything that small, but we can make some. We've got 1032, we just don't have any that small. We'll cut them. So now we got to make some kind of bracket to hang to catch that E-chain. Donnie's fascinated. What'd you find?
A pin that's sticking out. I think it must be the damn E-stop. That's probably what you're supposed to hit. Break that pin off.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a roll pin there.
Uh-huh. Okay. We have cut a strip of plastic we're going to do it with.
Strip of plastic.
Donnie's been dying to use this stuff ever since we found it in the building. It's like what they make 50-gallon barrels out of. Show them the screws on the bottom, the holes on the bottom. And that's what we need to mount to. Goes like that. As such.
This is probably that side, and that side's probably this side.
No, can't be. Because if the zipper mounted down there, it wouldn't be able to get all the way to the other end of the table.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna figure it out. All right. Using a drill bit to cut the holes by hand. Just like that, folks. By hand. That's how you do it. Donnie's the human drill bit. About got it. I don't think you're lined up, Donnie.
You told me I had to stretch it.
Stretch it. We don't want it to sag. Might have cross-threaded that one. That one looks a little cross-threaded, Donnie. I'm thinking that one's good. The other one's a little cross-threaded.
Let's give from my house.
I'm holding the camera crooked.
Does it look better that way?
With the camera crooked?
Yeah.
No, that's how I had it. All right, we got to drill out the hole a little bigger on the plastic. We're not positive how many they cut off of it. That's another thing, Donnie. It don't necessarily line up. No, you're about right. Well, I mean, we can kind of tell by the dust where it was laying down.
I don't know how it ever got to there. I guess when it's at home.
Yeah, it's got to come all the way back. It'll even go a little farther than that because it's got to park all the way back here. That's why we're missing some pieces. Okay, yeah, let's put some more pieces on it. If it's a little bit too long, I think that would be better than too short because it'll break if it's too short.
Okay.
New stuff seems to have went right on.
You had to jinx me. You ain't supposed to say that kind of stuff till we get it on there, Ronnie.
The new stuff's not going on at all.
That's better. And now we gotta get this one.
Yeah,
You remember where it goes?
underneath. Okay, yeah, we're fine with it where it is. But ultimately, you know, it parks back here, obviously. This is the vacuum hold down table, so the board, the 4x8 sheet will start right here. So that, like a little piece of it is left under there.
Let's notice them holes in there.
There's stuff everywhere. We can't figure it all out. We're getting there, though. And yes, we know you're supposed to put the cables in before you zip it up. It's going to be just fine, folks. Yeah, I was happy they still make this stuff brand new. I was looking on eBay. I was going to try to buy some pieces and stuff, and then I found the website, and you can order it directly from the manufacturer. And they shipped it the next day for regular shipping. They're just on top of it. It was like 30 bucks or something for the piece that was missing, which, you know, 30 bucks is a lot of money, but for something like this, you're getting out light.
You got to have it.
Yeah.
So thanks to everybody that's watching our videos and making this possible.
Look at that. Now that one's too clean, Donnie, the one part. We're gonna have to get some sawdust all over it.
Oh, it won't take just a minute.
This is some good piece of stuff here.
We got any extra just in case I break this?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know that it's straight, but that is what it is. I think it's going to be fine.
It's going to be a big bump. Might have to rework that. Might have to have that come over and go under.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Let me move this stuff off the table. See if I can roll it back. Ronnie, did you put the Milwaukee?
No, I would never do that.
What about this Milwaukee?
No, I would never do that. See, who is it that uses all Milwaukee tools and lays them on tables all the time?
I don't know. Does it look to be working all right?
Yes. Yes, it is just fine. We're very happy with it. Only thing is, since we've got it so long, it's going to actually stick off the end of the table now. But that'd be all right. Milwaukee.
And everybody says we don't buy none of this.
DeWalt.
Couldn't find no Milwaukee drill bits.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That seems to be working just fine.
I'm back as far as
But when you go farther, it's going to stick off the back of the table. But
if it don't hang up right there.
the table is going to be sitting where this one is. So it'll just come back a little bit. But if it does, we'll take a few links out of it. This stuff, you can actually take the links out without removing the cables. Because the top pops off and the bottom pops off.
Makes it very easy.
Well, I think that's pretty good, Donnie. And now it's long enough to reach both ends. So I guess we need to run some cables through it.
I'm dreading this part of it.
It ain't gonna be no big deal. It's just really one cable so far. Whenever we do our spindle, we're going to have to run a spindle cable through it too. All right, so we're going to try to reroute this cable a little better that's up here and see what we can get. We've got some little things here, the little bushings where it's supposed to come out of the rack. So we're going to try to figure that out too. That's next. Boy, you're pretty good, Donnie. How do you do shit like that?
You just got the damn.
He knew how to do it. He just wiggled it. How did you just wiggle it? Is there extra wire or are we about out of wire?
We're about 5 foot.
Okay.
How much you need?
More. All of it. We'll take the end off. We'll take the extra off the end.
No, I think we want to leave the extra tied up down there because we ain't sure where the box is going to be yet.
Right here. Okay. Let's see. I guess we just tell how far we need, like you said. Something like so is plenty. That's plenty. You can pull some back if you want.
You want to slide it back through there, or I'll rip it on that edge.
Oh, yeah.
Something about like that. A little less.
I think that's pretty good. That way we got room to work with. Well, hell, do less. Because if we're cutting it, we're just cutting off money. That's good. All right, folks. So for now, I taped the wires. Now, we did that before, too. a quick disconnect there might be better. But there's nothing for it to hit going back, so that helps. If we put it around this end, it might hit something. And you could just lead it out of here so it doesn't go through the grommet, but I kind of wanted it in a grommet so it doesn't move, because that grommet will hold it like it can't pull through now. So I think we got that good. We're going to try something though. We've got a spindle here. When we bought this table, what the guy tell you, Donnie?
He said, let me go hook you up.
He said, let me go hook you up. So one of the things that we've been doing, I ordered more motors. So one of the things that we've been doing is researching about spindles. So I've been looking it all up. We got this with it. This is a VFD. These are actually very nice. This is a good one. It's like a top-notch one. But it runs on 3-phase. And we don't have 3-phase in our warehouse here. So that's not going to work. All right? So, how you doing after spacing?
Yep.
So, I can't use that VFD. So then I started looking at this. So if you don't know about CNCs, join the club. I don't either. But basically, a spindle is better than a router because it's just more heavy duty. It's designed to spin, okay? And I really would rather not buy a Chinese one if I can help it. If I have to, though, I will. So I've been looking online, trying to figure out what spindle and VFD I'm going to get. But then I remembered that Donnie had this one. Now tell him about this, what he said, Donnie.
He said, I'm going to hook you up. Get in the truck. Let's go.
When he was buying this table.
So I jumped in the truck, and we drove up to a shop about a block away, half a block away. And we went in, and he got this thing out of a box that he had a bunch of them in, and said, here you go. This one should do you right. Handed it to me, and I threw it in the back of the truck and brought it with me.
So it's a Perske, made in Germany, me likey. It's a VS 60.11-2. It's a 5.5 horsepower. No, clear as day, that says 5.5 horsepower. That's not kilowatts. I was thinking that was 5.5 kilowatts. It's not. Might have to do some more checking. 13.3 or 7.7 amps. And it can be wired for 220 or 380. The RPMs are 17,550, which I think will be fine for what we're doing. We don't really need to get up over 18,000. I think right around there is actually kind of the sweet spot they're saying for plywood, but it's a 300 hertz. I know a lot of the newer ones are like 400 hertz, but this is a pretty hefty spindle. That damn thing, if it works, and it should, it's air cooled, has a fan on the top. I mean, you can't really tell without testing the run out. Yeah,
Grease,
Zerk fitting for the grease. You can't really tell without testing the run out, but I mean, there's nothing obviously wrong with it. So I'm thinking, why not use that spindle? That's a good spindle. I mean, it'd be a shame to buy a piece of Chinese crap. What do you think, Donnie? No run out?
About 3 inches.
3 inches. I don't think Donnie knows how to measure run out. So we're thinking, hey, let's use this spindle. Why not?
I think it's gonna be good.
It's like a top-notch spindle. That's a nice one. It may be too big for this table though, but the guy that gave it to us knew all about this table. I mean, it was his table. So he said, I'm gonna hook you up, and he gave us that spindle. And we kind of just put it to the side and never really, because we don't know nothing about it. But now that we're looking at it, I think I could buy a nice VFD and run that. So, so that VFD we can't use because it's 3-phase. So I need one that runs off 220 single phase that'll convert it to 3-phase, which is basically what a VFD does. Okay, but the only other problem is, since it's so heavy, is our trolley going to be able to move it? So we're going to test that. We don't have the brackets to bolt it up right now. We've got this one, but the holes aren't quite in the right spot. Of course, we'll fix that if we need to. So we're going to attempt push it out a little bit, Donnie, so it's not zero. There you go. We're going to attempt to move the gantry or the trolley with the spindle just laying on top of it.
Can we run 600 inches a minute?
I don't know if we should with it just sitting on there.
Hell, why not?
I think that one thing you put maybe we didn't need. See how it's crooked?
Well, it's going to be crooked the other way.
I think that's good. All right, so we're going to try to run it back up down the table and just see if it'll move, if it can carry that spindle. Now, are you on the gear?
Nope.
Look, folks, we know this is not the way to do it. Okay. Okay, we're good. All right, we know this is not the way to do it, but we also need to test it since we reran our wire and redid the wiring. So we're going to see if this thing can even carry this spindle.
Hopefully.
Here we go. All right, folks, we lowered the amperage down. We had it set on 7 amps, and it's only a 6.3 amp motor. So we lowered it to 6.2 amps on the Gecko G201. I caught that when I was editing the video last time, but when we were down here the last time, I didn't catch that at all. Okay, go for it, Donnie. Now this isn't, Donnie was making the point, that this isn't exactly dollars to donuts, because the spindle was not hanging off the front of it, which would actually put more stress on it. All right, so Donnie has loaded the 200 inch per minute test code, and he said he's going to run it at 50%, so he's going to try to run it about 100 with the heavy weight on it. All right, Donnie, go for it. Yeah, it's moving just fine if that's 100.
This is 100.3.
100 inches, okay. So cancel that one. Oh, he's up on it now. Okay, what's that?
200.
What's that?
600.
How'd you do that?
It's automatically coming back at 6.
Oh, it's rapid. It's doing the rapids at 600. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, I can move it at 600. It can move it around just fine. So that's it trying to be slow. And then when it comes back, it goes as fast as it can, which we have set at 600. No problems.
Look at your tail there. How's it work?
Yeah, let's watch our what do they call it? Electric chain, E-chain?
How's it look like?
It's fine. Yeah. So basically it thinks that it's going down and cutting, and then when it gets to the end, it's coming up and going back, and then going down a little more and cutting and going to the end and blah, blah, blah.
I got enough room to go another inch or so on that E-chain.
On the, what do you mean, add another inch?
No, yeah, add another inch of travel.
Yeah, yeah.
Am I going to hit that other motor that we was talking about earlier?
I don't think so. The new motor will mount right there, and so we were wondering, is that motor going to hit that motor if it crashes? But I don't think it will. Yeah, I think you're good, Don. You got all kinds of room.
You said it went 48 inches.
Yeah. I think we're looking pretty good, folks. That's at 600. So yeah, I think we use this spindle, Donnie. What do you think?
I think we're going to try it.
I mean, if any spindle you put on there is going to be heavy. I mean, that one might be a little heavier than most of them, but they're all going to be at least half that heavy.
That thing probably weighs 30 pounds.
Yeah, it's heavy, but we've got a new motor coming for this. It's a ball screw, a screw lead, which is much stronger, I think. So I don't think it'll have any problem lifting it up and down. It's just going to have it's cooled down significantly, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So changing it from 7 to 6.3, the motor is nowhere near as warm as it was.
Of course, we did run it longer last time.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah.
Somebody in the comments asked why we had a
jelly jam jar.
Jam jar up there.
That's
just what it is.
This is a stepper motor with a shaft on the other end that is attached to a ball screw. Well, a screw. There's not a ball involved, I don't think. But anyway, as it turns the screw, which since that thing down there is attached on the screw, basically it lifts this up and down. Okay, and then at the other end of this is also they call this an encoder. This particular one was the knurled side. It's so that you can raise it and lower it yourself. I don't think we have it hooked up right now, so we can't do it. Yeah, we don't have it in there right. But basically that's so that you can, you're out messing with the Z, you can turn this to raise it up. They make another one that sends some kind of signal back to the machine or something, but the motors we have, like this one, are just a single shaft. They don't have the shaft coming out the other side.